In today's episode, Luis asks, I'm in charge of our department newsletter, which is meant to summarize any major accomplishments of the core teams as well as updates on new staff, awards, etc. Right now, I'm using a tool that I don't think is the best for the amount of content I need to send. To start, it doesn't give me enough data on links clicked, open rates, open times, amount of time opened. It doesn't have any layouts that are very customizable. Do you have something you'd recommend with versatile layout, which is the most important, strong reporting data? Free is better, but cheap is probably doable. Going to be trying MailChimp next, but used it a few years ago and was not impressed. Okay, so the big questions when it comes to email marketing software are how much do you have to spend, how technically savvy you are, and what features you need. There are some fantastic tools for email marketing out there, along with a number of email providers, standalone providers, and the world has moved very much to a SaaS model on a lot of this. So there aren't as many standalone things. Now, generally speaking, the more that you do yourself, meaning the more that the software is sort of a standalone thing, the less it's going to cost. So let's talk about a couple of providers that I think might fit the bill. MailChimp is not bad. Depending on how large your department is and how large this newsletter is, you might be able to get away with just using MailChimp, even at its free tier. If I think it's like under 100 or 200 contacts, you should be okay there. The same is true. I'm trying to think. Nope. HubSpot charges for the email marketing portion. So, yeah. So MailChimp would be a good place to start. You could look into Constant Contact. I still don't like their software. I don't like their interface. It feels like it's trapped in 2003. But they're fairly well known. Emma, email marketing is fairly well known. I would take a hard look at it, depending on how technically savvy you are. Take a hard look at the Mautic self-hosted marketing automation package. Now, this is marketing automation software, so it has contact tracking and very robust reporting. It has a very good email marketing feature. I like the fact that you can just dump your raw HTML into it and it will send it out. I pay about $8 a month to run my almost timely newsletter, which sends to 25,000 people per send a week. And I use Amazon SES on the back end, but if you're doing it internally within a company, you should be able to use your company's own email servers as the sending mechanism. That will avoid your email getting trapped in spam and stuff like that. Here's the catch with Mautic. It is at the self-hosted level, very difficult to do because you need to be comfortable using Bitnami, which is a disk image for servers. You need to be comfortable self-hosting your own server. And you can use Google Cloud or Amazon AWS or any of the cloud providers, or you can host it internally in your organization for free. Park it on a server inside your firewall. But it requires technical expertise at the self-hosted level. They do have a cloud hosting option, which is not inexpensive. So keep that in mind as well. The other thing to do is check out some of the review sites. So this is an example. This is G2 Crowd, which is a site that I've actually done a couple of reviews on. I've done some on Capterra as well. And they have these lovely grids based on what they call market presence, or how much data they have, and then the sort of aggregate of the reviews. The way I read this chart and recommend that you read it for purchasing decisions is everyone and their cousin goes to the top right. Who's the top right? Highest satisfaction, biggest market leader. Well, that's good if you want to work with the market leader. You may not want to because of cost reasons, because the market leader will have market-leading costs in a lot of cases. So what I like to look at is on the satisfaction scale, look in this lower right-hand quadrant. Who's in here that is garnering high satisfaction, but is not necessarily big in the market, which means that you may be able to get a much better value. So, like, for example, there's Emma, Robley, Open Moves. So there's a bunch of providers down here that would probably love to do business with you because they're not up here getting all of the attention. The same is true on the marketing automation front. HubSpot's up here, and HubSpot will eventually cost you a lot of money. Salesforce, Pardot, and the Salesforce ecosystem in Marketo, they will cost you a lot of money to start. Way down here, there's a bunch of these much smaller providers, high satisfaction ratings, but not much market presence, so there may be a deal to be had there. So that's an option as well. I would avoid using templates within a marketing automation system or an email marketing system in terms of layouts. Ideally, you work with a designer and a developer to build an HTML template, and then you edit that in anything that can edit HTML. The Adobe Dreamweaver, Blue Griffin, which is an open source package. If you are comfortable with the code itself, you can edit in any text editor, but having a designer build your own email template for you means that you can then edit it in any package, and then when you're satisfied, you just copy and paste the code right into whatever email system you're using, and that way that's not as important a feature because you're just editing HTML. So real good example, in my Almost Timely newsletter, what I do for that is I write everything in the Markdown language, which you can see here, and then I auto-convert it to HTML. And then that has, that does all of the formatting and stuff for me. Now, that's a very technical way of doing it, and also my newsletter is not going to win any design awards. So you will probably want to do something slightly differently, but the concept is the same. I edit offline, tune it, I can preview it at any time in a web browser to see how it looks, and then when I'm satisfied with it, I can then go dump it, just copy paste right into the email marketing system, rather than try and mess with other people's templates, because I've never gotten that to look good, and not as good. The other thing is, if you don't have a designer, there are a ton of really good, talented designers online, either freelancers. There are design companies like 99 Designs, which will do a template for $99 or whatever. So take a look around, see who's out there, see who can craft the template that you want. And then that becomes less of a consideration when you're choosing the email service provider. At that point, it really is down to the reporting, the cost, and it, whatever the other secondary capabilities you need to have. I would give marketing automation software a good look, because unlike just opens and clicks, if you use marketing automation software well, you can deploy it on your website and track just that internal group of people to see what content do they browse, like on your blog. Are employees reading the blog? That's something you would want to know. How engaged are they digitally? You obviously want to obtain permission and do all the required compliance things, but marketing automation software is good at telling you how effective your overall digital marketing is. And if you use it for employees, it tells you how engaged your employees are. So it's an employee engagement tool for the digital space. So something to think about. Anyway, if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments. Please subscribe to the newsletter and the YouTube channel, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.